Welcome to another edition of the FarmCast. We're live to you today from the Legacy of the Plains Museum in Scotts Bluff. Beautiful area and a nice view of the bluff here in Scotts Bluff, and a nice 8RX piece of equipment behind us. I'm Mike Wemhoff from 21st Century Equipment, and I'm here with Brian Krohn, a product validation lead from John Deere ISG. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Today we're going to really focus on kind of the setup space and some Workplanner type pieces. But Brian, I know John Deere does a lot of different things, and so maybe let's just start. Introduce yourself and what you do on a day-to-day basis at John Deere.
So me and my team, we connect dealers like yourselves and customers all over the world with our colleagues back at John Deere to build the best technology products possible. And our teams that are back at John Deere, they are focused on solving the top customer problems and love having the customer interaction and being close to the customers and hearing their feedback.
That's great. And obviously, you know, we've spent a couple days while you've been out here visiting some customers and getting some more feedback from our direct customers, which is wonderful, and happy that you can take that back and take that right to the engineering teams and have them help build solutions that can solve their problems. Maybe starting off, you know, if a customer is really just starting to get engaged with the Operations Center, with some of the digital space of John Deere technology and precision ag, where do they get started?
Well, from a John Deere perspective, we want John Deere customers to be the most profitable, productive, and sustainable. We're all about creating smarter machines and intelligent solutions that allow them to manage their operation anytime, anywhere, with or without an operator in the cab. So I would say from our standpoint, the first thing is to get connected machines to the John Deere Operations Center. And that's really easy to do with our new modems. You can put those in any piece of equipment and have that connected to the Operations Center and be able to monitor that right from your phone anytime, anywhere. So
good.
That's a great first step.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and we've even seen customers in our AOR that have connected ATVs and their trucking fleet and everything with those modems, and been wonderful for them to be able to track location and know when do they need to get to the field and how far are they away, and how to really keep that equipment moving in the field and make our customers more productive.
Yeah, I see connectivity as foundational. And then when we talk about the setup pieces, when you're in the Operations Center, so to get started, really contact 21st Century. You may already have an account if you have equipment, or you can go to the operationcenter.deere.com and create an account, and from there follow the prompts and you'll get started that way. In the setup menu in the Operations Center, that's where really you can get all of your organization started. So you have your team, you can set up your operators, who are your trusted partners, along with your dealer. If you have an agronomist, a seed dealer, set up your full team. You set up your equipment, so add all of your equipment to the Operations Center, all of your implements, machines, regardless of the make, type, or model, and then go down the list from there. You can set up your products, tank mixes, dry blends, client farm fields, boundaries. What am I missing? There's other things in that drop down, but really the idea is step through that. And a great way to get started is to just, if you have some documentation data or setup data on a USB stick from any display, you can just load that into the Operations Center and start to see what the Operations Center can provide.
Awesome. Yeah, and let's dive maybe into even more of the setup space, and just what is that, from your perspective, what is that customer value of getting that setup done before they enter the field? Or, you know, we're really in the off season here of the agronomy cycle, and so what are the things a customer could do now and what are those benefits the customer can see when they get into the field into the spring?
Getting all those things that you know you're going to be putting in the ground, and then everything that you're going to be using when you're in the field. So think about all your products that you need. Think about setting up field boundaries for your fields so that when you pull into the field, you can see exactly where you're at in the field. The work can pop up on the screen and make that easy for the operator when they're in the cab. So you can create field boundaries based on documentation data. You can drive those field boundaries with a Starfire receiver. So put that on a Gator, pickup truck, tractor, drive those boundaries in the off season, get a good quality boundary. And then that really starts to unlock even more within the Operations Center as far as tracking progress for that field and getting the right operator to the right field at the right time.
Yeah, obviously, in previous episodes we've talked about autonomy, and that's coming, but certainly a step to autonomy is really making the equipment know what it's going to do and have that predictability when it enters the field. And this setup pieces and Workplanner are really a way to do that and get us prepared for that. And you mentioned high quality boundaries, extremely important. And we're talking to a lot of our customers about those boundaries and how they get those high quality boundaries into the operations center.
Yeah, from my standpoint, I'd say you mentioned Workplanner. We've had customers take advantage of that, and it's truly the best way to get your operator in the cab in the right client farm field, document that plan for the season, and get quality documentation back without having to edit data. So it's pretty simple to use. You can use it on your phone, Operations Center web. You pull it out and you decide which fields you're going to be doing work on, what you're going to be doing in each of those fields, and you send that to the equipment. And when the operator arrives in the field, they see a preview of all the things that they need to do. You can see notes on that field, exactly what they need to pay attention to. They hit OK, and they're ready to go. So it's truly the simple way to get that operator in the cab and get them running in the field quickly.
Yeah, and I know that's a big thing. Is we see it all the time. We hear stories all the time from our customers that they have maybe hired folks who are running the equipment, or somebody who's not familiar with a particular piece of land or a field, and they get to the field and then they have to stumble along trying to make sure, where am I and what field should I put into the display? This really takes that out of it for them. So to me, that's a big value add. Is there any other value add pieces that you would say from going through Workplanner and having a good specified plan going into the field?
I'd say another one is prescriptions. So we know that customers are creating prescriptions in a lot of various software applications. Loading those into the Operations Center, using Workplanner to get them assigned to the field. You can preview the prescription, and that prescription's automatically attached to that field. So there's no guesswork on which prescription they should use when they get in the field.
Anything else that you would add from a Workplanner or setup perspective that you think would help customers kind of either get to that next step or even evolve maybe how far they've come in the setup space if they've been using the software?
I'd say we're seeing a lot of customers see some success with something new that we launched here last spring with data sync setup. So you think about all this setup data that you have, products and boundaries, fields, and as changes are made, this data sync setup keeps your setup data in sync between the Operations Center and your displays at any point. So your entire fleet can have the most up-to-date information at any time. And if any changes are made, those will be dispersed everywhere else. Customers in the past have, maybe created some guidance lines and they forget to upload them to the Operations Center, and then they want to go reuse them next season. That's eliminated with the data sync setup, is because it's all in sync at all times. So
good. Yeah, it's great to hear the reusability of that from year to year, so customers don't have to go through that same process every single year. But certainly as boundaries change or guidance lines change, or just fields in general, field names, they can go make those adjustments as needed. So
another one that comes to mind is Autopath. What have you heard from customers when it comes to Autopath? And I can talk about it a little bit myself too.
Yeah. If you don't know what Autopath is, it's a way for you to generate your guidance lines before entering the field, and you can see the entire field at a glance and know exactly where the machine is going to go, and those guidance lines are automatically set for you. So again, it's not something you have to stumble through when you get into the field and have to set your AB lines and things like that. So we have heard a lot of success in our AOR from our customers who have used Autopath, just both from the perspective of the owner operator in the cab that does know a lot about the field and where they are, but then also the hired folks who are in the cab of the machine who don't know the field, and they can just go work and go farm. So a lot of proven success with that product, and we're seeing more and more utilization of that from, like I said, both ends of that spectrum of our large organizations to our smaller owner operators.
Yeah, Autopath is really eliminating the need to manage guidance lines. So you're going off of, say, a source operation of a strip till operation or a planting operation, and going through that field with an implement receiver, and then we're taking those lines and we're making them available to subsequent operations, having that full field path plan that you mentioned that you can follow with subsequent passes, your sprayer, your combine, whatever it might be, and be right exactly on where the row is, and really streamlining the way that you can go execute work in the field.
And those Autopath lines, how can you generate those? By boundary, by AB line?
Today it's based on that source operation, but we're looking at other opportunities to create those in different ways in the future. Really, it's just about getting that documentation in with that implement receiver, and the operations center will create those lines from that.
And I know we've talked about this with customers here just this week, but if you're in the operations center and you look on the top right corner of the screen, you'll see a question mark button there. And I know, like I said, we've talked about that with customers this week, to utilize that button and make sure that they provide some feedback through that. That's one mechanism for customers to provide feedback directly to John Deere. And I know you said that goes directly to the development teams, and you're taking a look at that once a week at minimum.
Yeah.
So I encourage customers to utilize that. But also, if you're watching this podcast, come to us as the dealer and, find ways that give us that feedback. I'm happy to get that over to Brian and his team, or the appropriate team at John Deere who can help. But, I think in answer to your question, that's probably the biggest thing is just continue to support us with that feedback that we get from our customers.
Yep.
And, we also want to provide the best quality product for our customers. We want to make our customers as most profitable and effective and efficient as possible.
Yep. And
the only way to do that is with the best machinery in the world that we have, like behind us. Continue to advance. We know that we have competitors out there in the precision ag space and also in the equipment space, and we need to keep up.
Yep.
And we honestly not just keep up, but stay ahead.
Yeah.
And so that's a biggest thing I'm driving from our precision ag team at 21st Century is we need to be in front of the technology as you're working through the development phases and rolling that out to customers. Mm-hmm. And then also getting that early feedback, but then also have us follow along on the journey with you as new technology is getting adopted. So I think the biggest thing is listening to feedback, understanding how that all works together in conjunction across multiple platforms and multiple operations, and how we can best provide a solution for the customer.
Yeah, our engineering teams, they thrive on hearing that feedback from customers. So I'm glad you brought up the feedback button. And I'd say John Deere's committed to building a seamless experience, whether you're in the cab or out of the cab with the operation center or our G5 display, and continuing to bring those together and make that a simple process for customers to use. And we know that you at 21st Century will be there to help customers through anything they run into.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, and we've seen some different crops this week that different than the standard row crops or grain crops that maybe your experience over in Iowa. And, those are the types of things I think also that the next evolution is how do we continue to support those customers and provide a good technology solution for them as well. We have good platforms today for them, but there's more that we can do. Yeah. So I think that's a good opportunity for us.
Yeah. Within John Deere, we call that having a production system focus, right? And so that could be, corn and soy, small grains, dairy and livestock, high value crops, and all these different types of production systems, and looking at our customers from that perspective and a full system perspective, and how we deliver technology solutions and machines that solve their problems in the business that they're working in. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Good. Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and it's just another way to continue to support all of our customers across our broad diversity of our AOR.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, thank you for joining us here today at the FarmCast. We really appreciate you making the trip out here and being able to visit some of our customers and also be a part of the podcast. So thank you for joining us here today on the FarmCast. Look below to like and subscribe and provide your feedback and your comments as well. You can provide some feedback there on products we've talked about today, or contact us at 21st Century, specifically on the precision ag side, to get some of that other feedback as well. But thank you for joining us today on the FarmCast.
That was awesome.
Good work.
We crushed that.
Nailed it.